Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Last Wrestling Podcast, because if I have a wrestling podcast, everybody else in the world does too, and the concept is officially dead. Well, it turns out that Terubiasahi didn't like the fact that I was giving the show that they're part owner of, I think, some free publicity on the internets. So, yeah, no more pictures in these because YouTube, and yeah, strike two, you're almost out. So, yeah, sorry about that, but honestly, at this point, can't be helped. Hopefully, my voice is at least moderately entertaining. We're going to be talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling Castle Attack, Night 2 and 1, in that order. Starting off with the big news coming out of the main event, Kota Ibushi defeats Naito Tetsuya for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, and this was the last ever Intercontinental title match, because it has been announced that the two titles will be unified into a single belt, and that will be called the IWGP World's Heavyweight Championship. There will be one final double title defense at the anniversary show that I'm going to be in the Budokan for. My first time going to Nippon Budokan, and I spent the money. I'm actually going to be on the floor this time. So, yeah, that's okay. I can eat Costco popcorn for dinner for the next month. That's no problem. Ibushi wins. He has the right to do whatever he wants with the titles, and he said that the Intercontinental title will not be going away. It will be kept safe, and it is going to be joining the heavyweight title. They will be kept together from here on out. Some people take Naito's opinion that no, you're creating a brand new title that will have no history, no lineage, no prestige. I disagree with that. I think the IWGP name is a big enough deal, and the fact that it's always been a heavyweight title and not a world heavyweight title gives this new championship a feeling of, okay, this is long overdue. So, very, very nice. The match itself, honestly, not great. Now, okay, these two are incapable of having a bad match. Anytime you've got Ibushi Naito, it's going to be good. But I've seen better matches from these two. And part of that is probably my, live in person bias. But I did like the subtleties of it. I liked that there was a lot more mat wrestling than usual. That it was sort of Naito trying to prove that, hey, I can actually out wrestle you. I'm not just the guy who, does psychological tricks and hits the Destino. I like that Naito is starting to reincorporate some of the Stardust Genius moves into Diamond Dust specifically into his arsenal. I think that's a good progression of his character, because that's always been one of his weaknesses in the past when he falls to the Stardust Genius. I like the idea that he can sort of go deep into that arsenal without it costing him the match, which it didn't this time. He just lost. Ibushi was just better, which means 2 straight single matches, 2 straight main events, 2 straight title matches for these two. I do not anticipate Naito getting another championship match unless he wins the New Japan Cup. We'll talk about that in a minute. Well, in several minutes, more likely. But while storyline and historical significance, this was a good match. But the actual wrestling, it was good because it's these two, wasn't brilliant. Match of the night, in my opinion. 3-way dance. I can't believe I'm saying this about a 3-way. For the vacant IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, unfortunately, Hiromu forced to vacate the championship due to a bicep injury, I understand. That's going to take months to heal. I imagine if he's lucky, he's going to be back around G1 Climax time. But if he's going to main event the Dome with the junior heavyweight title, I don't think it's going to be in 2022. I'm genuinely sorry about that. I think that was a great story they could have told. It's wrestling. It happens. Now, this was probably the best triple threat match I've ever seen. Now, I hate one fall multi-man matches. I think that's dumb. Winners and losers, good. Guy who didn't win or lose, bad. But one trope that as I hit my microphone, one trope of the triple threat match that I genuinely despise is the contrived way that you basically have 2 or 3 singles matches. there's always two guys in the ring, one guy's on the floor, or one guy's knocked out, or, one guy was stretchered to the back so they can make a miraculous comeback. And it always comes across as, well, that's what we do because it's a triple threat match. We can't have three people actually wrestling each other. It would get complicated. Which is why, if you're going to do these things, don't do odd numbers. But they found a good way to make this work. And I have no idea who came up with this. If this was Gedo, brilliant. If this was the three guys in the match, congratulations. Fairly early in the contest, El Fantasma, being foreign and therefore evil, rips the mask off of El Desperado halfway up the entrance ramp. El Desperado is down and out, covering his face on the outside, because Lucha tradition, for what had to be at least a good 10 minutes, so that somebody could run to the back and find, probably Gabriel Kidd, he's the one who gets sent on the marathons most of the time. Someone could get sent to the back to find a spare El Desperado mask and bring it out and get it on Despy's face and get him back into the match. You know what? Brilliant! And by the time that had happened, El Fantasma beat the crap out of Ibushi. Ibushi was down on the outside. He was not a factor. So you had your two singles matches, but it made good narrative sense, and El Desperado gets the victory after getting revenge by pinning the guy that tore his mask. Excellent storytelling. And that is what led to the main event of the anniversary show. El Desperado, the junior heavyweight champion and one half of the junior heavyweight tag team champions, will challenge Kota Ibushi for the double gold, the final ever double gold match. I get to see that pretty close to up close and personal, so yay! I am looking forward to this. Alright, moving on backwards. Tanahashi Hiroshi defends the Never Openweight Championship against the Dominator Greato Okon. And this means 2 straight singles matches where Okon has lost to Tanahashi. And I think that's fine given where Okon is. It's still obvious that they want to strap a rocket to the Great Okon. The Dominator Greato Okon. But he's not beaten Tanahashi. And there was a wonderful piece of storytelling, wonderful little story beat that was brought up in this match. The Never Openweight title is a mid-card title. It's a secondary title at best, depending on where you think the U.S. title fits in. I think the Never Openweight is above the U.S. title, but if you want to say it's the other way around, I'm not really going to argue with you. Tanahashi says that Shingo Takagi showed him that the Never Openweight Championship is important, that it's the equal of the heavyweight title. And I love that. The crucible of combat. Shingo showed through his wrestling how important this championship is, and he taught Tanahashi a lesson, and that changed Tanahashi's opinion. We have a wrestler changing their mind about something, and we have an inciting incident for that. We have an impetus for it. We have a reason for it. That is bloody brilliant. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Match itself, oh wow, Great Okon leaving all the returning young lions in the dust. He knows who he is, he knows his character, he knows the various aspects of his character, he knows what works and why it works, and unlike most monsters, he knows how to lose. And that is a valuable, valuable skill for somebody like the Great Okon. Tanahashi has a formula now. He's sticking with it, and it's a great formula that he knows how to do. As well as Great Okon knows his character, Tanahashi knows his better. This is a combination that is going to keep working, I think. Up next, we've got the Gorillas of Destiny, Tamatonga Tongaloa, defeating Goto Hiroki and Yoshihashi for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. The story of this match, everybody's a dick to Yoshihashi, and I love it. Okay, throughout the entire match, the Tongans were basically bullying Yoshihashi, continually yelling, going on about how you're not good enough, you have no skill, you don't belong here, you suck, you are terrible, you are nobody, you're just that guy in Chaos, you're the Goku cosplayer. I don't think they actually said that, but you get the drift. I love this because, one, the villains are being villains, they're being a-holes, but the best villains, I've said this many times, I will keep saying it until people figure it out, the best villains are the ones that think they're in the right and can almost convince you. Almost. Everything they said about him, a lot of New Japan fans have been saying for years that he's just that other guy in Chaos. He's the guy who's there to take the pin. He's just Yoshihashi. He's just kind of there. I mean, yeah, he got the trios belt. He got the never openweight six-man title, but it's the never openweight six-man title. He may have won the Open the Owari Gate or the 24/7 championship. Yeah, that's stuff people really say. Okay, real and fake are words that are very loaded in wrestling for obvious reasons. But I think anytime you can incorporate reality into professional wrestling without it seeming contrived, without it seeming like, you're just making a reference to TikTok for, I'm cool with the kids, aren't I so cool, guys, type of street cred in very large quotation marks. Yeah, that wasn't this. This was take what the fans really think and make it part of the story. Brilliant. Don't have much good to say about the rest of the night, too. Trios match. Chaos, Okada, Ishii, and Giggles McCheats-a-Lot versus Bullet Club, Jay White, Evil, and yes, he's still here, Chase Owens. Chaos picking up the victory by submission in under 9 minutes. And this did not need to be here. We got closure on all 3 of these stories the previous night, and this came across as we need to get these guys are on the tour, they're on the bus, they're in the hotel, we may as well get them on the show anyway, add some star power, and that's never a reason to do jack squat. Never have a match unless there's a reason to have a match. And this just came off as a coda or a denouement or an epilogue of a story that was over and didn't need it. And of course, it's Giggles McCheats-a-Lot, there's going to be dick punches, it's Bullet Club, there's going to be cheating. By the way, there was cheating in the Guerrillas of Destiny match as well. Yeah, this match didn't need to be here. Could have saved 20 minutes with the entrances. Kept the show under 3 hours that way, I think. The first match was a tag team match between TenZ and the United Empire, Will Ospreay and Jeff Cobb. The old guys coming out on top. I believe it was Will Ospreay who took the pin. And the Empire needs to stop losing so damn much. You've got a brand new faction. I mean, yes, Okon and Cobb are going to establish themselves as a threat just by standing in the ring, and Ospreay has credibility, but if all your faction ever does is lose, I mean, they have won some matches, but when it comes to the big shows, they usually lose. I realize they're foreigners, and that is kind of their function, to, fall to the great Japanese fighting spirit, but oh god, you know what you've got with these guys. This isn't WWE not getting Ricochet. This is Gedo knowing what he's got and just not using it well. Yeah, is the faction salvageable? Absolutely, but they need something. Tenzon. Let's talk about Tenzon for a second. His new thing is that he still uses the Mongolian chop when the referee isn't looking. That's his version of the Giggles McCheats-a-Lot dick punch spot. And you know what? I like it better than Giggles McCheats-a-Lot. I still don't like it. He's a babyface. He lost. He agreed to the stipulation. He should honor it. That's my opinion. I like it when good guys have a moral center, even if it's an unconventional one, maybe not one that society believes in, but it's something that they will stick to. Kind of like Naito. Naito does whatever the heck he wants, but he has his own sense of honor. He said, I'm not worthy to. You beat me in the Tokyo Dome clean as a whistle. I'm not worthy to challenge for the title. I haven't earned that right to challenge for the heavyweight title, but I can challenge for that white piece of shit nobody cares about. So yeah, Tenzan's thing is he's a good guy who goes back on his word. This was a great traditional New Japan show. It's historically significant, set up the next show very well, good matches, and also the Chaos Bullet Club Trios match was there. Back to night one, however, and this was weird. One multi-man match to start us off, and then everything was singles contests. There were 4 special singles matches, no titles on the line in any of them, and a KOPW thing. We'll get to that in a minute. Some diehards, including at least one of the guys on the Super J cast, do not like that New Japan is experimenting. And because it doesn't feel like New Japan. And I get that. But I think it's good that they're not putting on the same show, essentially, with just different pieces, every time they show up on my monitor. This was kind of a Road to show. New Japan is still trying to figure out how to do the 2-night show format. Every time I've seen them do it, including the couple that I've been to, there's always been holes. There's stuff that didn't need to be there, or stuff that wouldn't have been there if it was a 1-night show. But this time, I think they're showing progress, because while most of these matches didn't matter in terms of championships, 2 feuds were definitively ended. We got a bunch of singles matches, which for New Japan, that's hotshot booking. And the fact that the final 5 matches were Bullet Club versus Chaos, that gave a narrative thread to the whole show. Some basic stuff, I realize, but they did a very good job with this, and it worked. So let's go through this. We're going to start at the end. Okada beats Evil, and the story was Okada gets the chip off his shoulder, the monkey off his back. He beats the guy that beat him in the New Japan Cup final last year, and this clears Okada's mind so he can focus on the New Japan Cup this year. Good show. Good match. Okada can get a decent match out of Evil. I did like the story of Okada repeatedly going to the money clip and it not working. And eventually he has to sort of shrug his shoulders, admit that he is who he is, hits the Rainmaker Lariat, beats Evil, 1, 2, 3. The Evil experiment is over. He's the guy in Bullet Club now. Is he the tag team guy in Bullet Club? No. Is he the secondary singles title guy in Bullet Club? Yes. Do I think we're going to have Evil versus Tanahashi for the Never Belt at some point? Possible. We might already have it. I haven't looked yet. And then we have Giggles McCheats-a-Lot beats, yes, he still works here, Chase Owens, in a YTR-style Texas strap match for the provisional King of Pro Wrestling 2021 trophy. The rule is the first one to pull out all 4 corner pads while strapped to the opponent wins. In reality, whoever pulled off the 4th pad was the winner. This was fucking dumb. I'm sorry, this was dumb. I don't apologize for the language. This was fucking dumb. Okay, I don't like Texas strap matches. I don't like the must touch all 4 turnbuckles. I think that's hokey. I think it has the same problem as a last man standing match, that you're constantly dragging the match to a complete halt so someone can attempt the long convoluted method of victory. And then, it's not going to happen the first time. It's not going to happen the second time. It's not going to happen the 37th time. It will eventually happen, and there's probably going to be some sneaky convoluted nonsense. I don't have a problem with a strap match. I don't have a problem with a dog collar match. But the story of that is we're strapped together so the cowardly heel cannot run away. That wasn't the story here, so yeah, that didn't work. Also, I'm not there yet. I'm not there on completely giving up on the KOPW trophy concept. It could work. It could be good. But I'm willing to admit that it isn't. We next had 2 singles matches, Goto versus Tamatonga, and Yoshihashi versus Tangaloa. Goto defeats Tamatonga, and Tangaloa defeats Yoshihashi to basically keep the series even at 1-1 going into later in the night. By the way, the final score, Chaos victorious, 3 victories to 2 over Bullet Club. These matches happened, and that's really all I've got to say about it. The United Empire, Will Ospreay, Great Okon, Jeff Cobb defeated Tanahashi and Tenkozy. Again, this was a preview for the next night's matches, but one, it showed that the United Empire can win matches when they're a unified team, and when they're facing a couple of dads, and a guy who's almost a dad. And it's the opening match of the show, and they're all together. It worked, and it was the only multi-man match on the show. It didn't outstay its welcome. It was about 10 minutes, and it was good. I genuinely enjoyed it. I don't genuinely enjoy a lot of New Japan multi-man matches, so high praise. Overall, these were 2 shows that worked fairly well together. There was continuity between them. The first night avoided the Road 2 show curse by having self-contained storylines. The second show delivered on everything I was hoping they would deliver on, and made me excited about what was coming up in the future, and you can't really ask more than that. My final grade for nights 1 and 2 of Castle Attack, A. Couple of things could have been cut, so it's not an A+, but great shows overall, enjoyable wrestling, well done. I look forward to the future. And you know what? May as well talk about the future for a moment. We've got the lineup now for the 49th anniversary show at the Budokan. I will be there. I'm bragging about that, but you know what? I get to be a part of this. I'm a fan of this product. As much as I joke and I crap on Koguma Sky Blue and Giggles McCheats a lot and Thaddeus Q Dumbfuck and Bitey McGee, I genuinely like this. And getting to go to these shows, I've gone to more shows in Japan in the last 3 years than I have my entire life. And I love that I'm in a situation, at least for a while, that I get to do that. It won't last forever. Yeah, I get to be a part of history, even if it's just I was a guy in the building, and I will always get to say that. I watched wrestling at the Budokan. I watched wrestling at the Dome. I watched wrestling at Karakuen. I watched TNA wrestling at Karakuen. But, yeah, okay, so my first and probably only Budokan show, main event, El Desperado challenges Kota Ibushi for the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships. Final dual title defense. Semi-final, Naito Tetsuya versus the Great Okon in a New Japan Cup match. They are starting the New Japan Cup at the show. New Japan Cup is not getting its own kickoff show. It's going to be part of the anniversary. I have no problem with that. It's a big tournament. You're going to have many, many matches. So, Naito versus Great Okon, that should be fun. Kojima versus Jeff Cobb in the New Japan Cup match. That should be a squash. Let's see, how many people? 6. We've got Sho, Ishii, and Okada versus Bushi, Sanada, and Takagi Shingo. I am looking forward to that match because, as much as people crap on Sanada, he's good in a multi-man situation. He just isn't a great singles wrestler. And replacing Giggles McCheats a lot with Sho, this is smart. We also have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be Hontai versus Bullet Club, as the Bullet Club team of Evil, Kenta, Chase Owens, Jay White, and Ishimori Taiji will team up against Tanahashi, Juice Robinson and David Finlay, Toa Henare, and the bum guy. I haven't seen Toa Hanare in a while. I know he's been on Strong, so I'm curious to see how much he's grown. I'm looking forward to that. Ooh. Oh, okay. And the opening match, it's an 8-man tag as the Team Psychopath faction of Taichi, Minoru Suzuki, Zack Sabre Jr., and Doki go up against. Oh, I feel sorry. I almost feel sorry. No, I don't feel sorry for these guys. Kogama Sky Blue, Honma, yes, Thaddeus Q Dumbfuck, still wrestling, Goto, and Young Lion McHasaname, Gabriel Kidd, in an 8-man tag, and I think that's not gonna make 10 minutes. That's gonna be a beating. We also have the full bracket for the New Japan Cup, and this is extremely large. This is extremely large. This is a lot of people. Turns out that both Evil, as last year's tournament winner, and Tanahashi, who has won the tournament twice, will receive first round buys. Running down the names very quickly: Kojima, Cobb, Naito, Greater Khan, Giggles McCheats-a-Lot, Bad Luck Fale, Goto, Taichi, Okada. Ooh, we get Okada versus Shingo Takagi in the first round. That's going to be fun. Thaddeus Q Dumbfuck, King Kills You, Juice Robinson, Kenta, Tenzan, Will Ospreay, Gabriel Kidd, Zack Sabre Jr. Gabriel Kidd! Young Lion McHasaname versus Zack Sabre. I want to see that. Will they let Kidd be good? I want to see that match. Yuji Nagata gets thawed out. That's nice. Against Yota Tsuji, who he will defeat easily because Young Lion. Ishii versus Sanada. Finley versus, still works here, Jace Owens. Yoshihashi versus Pimpy McPimpface. Toa Henare versus Jay White. Oh, yes, okay. Jay White's facing Tanahashi in the second round. There's also going to be a U.S. tournament, apparently, that I'm not going to be thinking about because I don't care. But, yeah, this looks like there's a couple of people that are there to lose in the first round, but this looks like a good tournament. The winner will specifically get the first shot at the Heavyweight Championship of the world. All right, that's everything for this episode of the Last Wrestling Podcast. Check out Castle Attack. It was very good. I'm going to edit this, see if I can get it under half an hour. And, next thing you hear from me, other than the regular updates of the Animated Wrestling League, will be my reactions immediately upon returning home from the anniversary show. So, thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. If you're actually listening to this, you probably already have subscribed, in which case I appreciate it very much. Thank you, and catchphrase sign off.